We have an update to a story that we've been covering out of Minnesota in the wake of the high-profile ICE operation there. NBC News has learned the criminal cases against two women who were accused of obstructing operations have now been dismissed. Their story made national headlines earlier this year when the women said that while detained, they helped a federal agent who was having a medical emergency. It all unfolded on January 22nd in Brooklyn Park, a Minneapolis suburb. Dashcam video shows the moment federal authorities descended on a car. Agents then took two women, Tippy Amundson and Zemien, into custody. Now, in a statement at the time, DHS accused them of obstructing operations by the Border Patrol in that neighborhood, saying they disobeyed law enforcement commands and ignored warnings, resulting in their arrest. The women have always denied those allegations. During an interview with Morning News Now back in January, Amundson and Zemien told us that while they were handcuffed in the back of an SUV en route to a federal detention center, one agent started to have a medical emergency. They believed it was a seizure. They said they brought it to the attention of other agents in the vehicle. Amundson told us she was then uncuffed, allowing her to help the agent get into recovery position, make sure his airway was clear, and just help keep him calm. Eventually, EMTs arrived. The women say they were taken back into custody and then brought to the detention center. Several weeks later, they received violation notices from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Both were accused of assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers. Then, about 2 weeks ago, they learned the U.S. Attorney filed a motion to dismiss those citations with prejudice, which means the cases are permanently closed, and a judge did grant those motions to dismiss. NBC News has repeatedly reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minneapolis for comment. We have not yet heard back. This morning, we are joined once again by Tippy Amundson and Zemien and their attorney, Ed Shaw. Good morning to all of you. Thanks so much for joining us. Tippy, I'm going to start with you. Your reaction to the news a couple weeks ago when you learned the cases were being dismissed.
I think there was definitely a lot of relief in seeing that come in the mail. It was always something that no matter what the outcome was, Heather and I felt that we were truly within our rights and acting as mothers in the neighborhood at a bus stop. And then all of the other stuff that unfolded after that. So I think it was just relief that there wasn't going to be any consequences for just doing what I know to be right.
Heather, what did you think when the case was dropped? Do you think it maybe had anything to do with helping out the agent in that moment or all the publicity here?
Absolutely not. I don't think so. They had a bunch of people watching us as we were helping. Other observers were there, and still they arrested us. So not at all is it that. I'm not at all surprised, though, that we were arrested and then later let off, because let's be honest. This is all about theatrics for the administration, and arrests catch more wind than convictions, and they're selling fear here. And we were within our rights. We were just within our constitutional rights. They were the ones that were actually the domestic terrorists. They were terrorizing our neighbors, and then they continued to terrorize us.
A few days after we spoke with you in January, we did get a statement from the Department of Homeland Security about the medical emergency, and a DHS spokesperson accused both of you of lying to law enforcement at the time by stating that you were nurses. DHS also said that you actually remained secured in the vehicle during the incident. It was agents who rendered assistance. Tippy, I'll start with you. What was your reaction to that statement when it came out?
That it was just another lie that they were telling, that they would take a video. I mean, we do have me in the footage from the Brooklyn Park Police Department surveillance cameras with me out of the vehicle next to their vehicle, motioning with my hands because I do talk with my hands a lot. And we were directing their movements too, trying to get them to go do things. So you can see me pointing. I didn't lie. I did say that I had medical training, which I do, and I will be able to support that in any way. But
and I'm a PCA.
Yeah,
I mean, it's part of my training.
Right. So I mean, we obviously had more training to recognize an emergency situation and a seizure with that. But I think them dismissing it just kind of speaks to their dishonesty in the situation and them trying to just tell their version no matter what the camera footage shows. And we saw that throughout the entire metro surge.
And we showed the video that you were referencing a moment ago. We should be clear. It was taken from a Brooklyn Center police precinct parking lot. Pure coincidence this happened to unfold there. It is tough because this is happening in the very corner of the video. We've zoomed in, we've brightened it a little bit, but we can't necessarily say with certainty what's going on here. But Tippy and Heather, walk us through what you see happening here in this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the hooded figure walking back now, right there with following an officer back to the truck. So when it starts, and the video goes in and out because it is a motion censored surveillance camera at the police station. So when cars drive through, it's triggered again. But you can see us at the side of the vehicle, and then the other agent walks me back to the vehicle, and you can see my hands are free. So, I mean, regardless, again, we know what we were doing that day. And whatever they wanted to say can be their version of the story, however incorrect and however false and however defamatory towards us, because they were doing it to everybody in that situation and all winter long. So I guess for me, it was you can see it. And if that's not the truth that they see or that they felt that they wanted to share about it, then that's on them. But I know where I'm at in that video, and I know that the people who love me and know me can see us in that video.
Ed, I want to bring you in here now because there are questions. The court papers filed by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minneapolis don't spell out why they were requesting having the cases dismissed here. I've been trying to reach out to the U.S. Attorney's Office for a couple weeks. We should note the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minneapolis, very shorthanded. A lot of people who work there have quit this year, some in protest. Ed, do you know why these cases were dismissed?
Thanks, Joe. And unfortunately, I don't have any more insight than you have. I can kind of make some assumptions. I mean, they are shorthanded. They have had a lot of attorneys, frankly, quit in protest, being forced to pursue policies that those attorneys rightly believe were not ethical. I do give credit to whoever made the decision to dismiss it. I mean, the decision to file the charges is made by ICE agents on the ground. Then the case goes to the U.S. Attorney's Office. I think it's pretty clear, if anyone looks at this, any lawyer, that there's not a case that Tippy and Heather did not commit a crime. They were rounded up like many other people, doing nothing wrong, but being in their community, expressing an opinion that the federal government may not agree with, which is not a crime. So I think someone looked at it, realize that no crime was committed. They can't get a conviction. In that case, the appropriate next step is to dismiss the case. That's what I would say. Looking at the outside, nothing in the papers indicates why the cases were dismissed. But I think looking at the video before this one, where Tippy and Heather were arrested, it's pretty clear they were doing nothing wrong. They're in their car in a parking lot, which last I checked is not a crime, and suddenly people are coming from all directions and forcing them out of their vehicle. So they certainly weren't the ones committing a crime here. And I think that's painfully obvious, and cooler heads prevailed at the U.S. Attorney's Office, which resulted in the dismissal.
Heather, we have only 30 seconds left here, but what is life like in Minnesota right now?
Well, I mean, I still do go out in my neighborhood and observe. I still have seen some ICE activity in my neighborhood. I haven't seen them arresting anyone or abducting them, but I have seen them patrolling our neighborhood. But we also are seeing people feeling a little bit more relieved. We're seeing our neighbors start to walk around the neighborhood. Tippy just messaged me the other day saying our neighborhood's starting to feel a little bit more normal. And so I think that the ICE activity, while still present, it is not as much as it was before.
Tippy, Heather, Ed, thank you all for joining us this morning with an update on this story we've been following throughout the year. We appreciate it.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.